Hey, Buzz. Well, welcome to the Zoom.
This is cool. How do I hit the button where I can see everybody? View.
Yeah, it should be gallery.
Now hit full screen.
Gallery view. There you go.
How about this, guys? Good to see you guys. Freaking Lowe's in his car.
Yep. He's multitasking.
That is bad Zoom etiquette, pal.
Being efficient with my time.
Okay, I respect that.
All right, let's get started with Chip Howard from Sports Talk.
Coach, we had talked last week about shooting. I'm not sure you expect to shoot 44% from threes every game, but is this kind of a preview of how you think you can shoot?
Well, I know you know this, Chip, and I was thinking about your question when we saw a lot of threes go in, which has been a rarity thus far in our tenure here. We have to continue to work to make sure that the shots that we shoot are the shots that we want to shoot, and that will help the percentage. And we have to continue to make sure that on a daily basis, we're doing more than just shooting during practice. And I think our staff and kids have done a good job of that. Is this what we want? Absolutely. Is it going to be something we can do each game? That's yet to be determined, but it was for sure an encouraging start.
The number of threes, I think you took 27. And
Probably
again,
a little too high. Probably a little too high.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, let's go on to Olin Buchanan from Texags.com and then Travis.
Game tonight. Are you hearing
I didn't hear the first start, Olin.
Okay. Yeah. There's a delay for some reason.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. Quentin Jackson had such a big game, and we all knew he was talented, but looks like, at least for tonight, that he's taken that a huge leap. Do we look at this as, hey, you had a really good game, or do you think that should we interpret this as that he's going to maybe this season be one of those catalysts or leading top guys that like you had last year of a Nebo or some of the other guys you had last year?
A few things on that. I missed you at the media availability. I was wondering where you were. I mean that in a sincere way, not a sarcastic way. I think Q has been very diligent in how he has handled the last 8 months. When they were away from us, I think since he's been back, he's been very diligent in his time on the floor alone in his individual skill work. I do think that he has to be a catalyst for us. And so much of what I think Q's offense is derived from, number one, is what is his energy level like and his discipline defensively? When he does what he's supposed to do defensively, I think it translates to his offensive game. And then I think, similar to what I just mentioned to Chip, Q knows the shots that he needs to shoot and how we play. And when he doesn't force up shots that we would consider bad, then I think he's going to be even more efficient than he was last year. We're going to need him to be a very efficient and effective player from the perimeter. When you make 4 out of 5 threes, it makes you look better than you probably are. But when you can shoot at that high of a rate, particularly for a guy that gets fouled the way that he does, his free throw rate versus field goal attempt rate will continue to get better if he can shoot it like that from 3.
And just one last thing from me. You guys really took control of the game at about the 8 minutes to go in the
when we went small, half. I thought is when the game began to change. When we went small, I thought we did really good. I know that's not your question, but that was when I felt like the tide began to turn, is when we had those 5 perimeter guys on the floor.
That's what I was looking for, Coach. Thank you very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that group, that Marv had 2 fouls. Aku had 1, I think, when we went small. And I think when we went small, Olin, it was right before a scheduled media. And I wanted to see obviously game number one, how would this grouping work? You know, you can do some of that because Savion is so smart. And so, hey, Save, we're just playing small. You don't have to spend a lot of time on remember to do this, remember to do that. He's just instinctual and he's very intelligent. So I thought H played really good in that stretch. And I think the more ball handlers you can have on the floor, the more effective you are in today's game. And so being able to play Hassan and Dre together, I think kind of ensures that the ball's not going to get stuck. So then it becomes, can Savion defend and rebound his position? And I thought what was telling in that stretch, I thought H did a really good job defending and rebounding his position.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Travis Brown from the Bryan College Station Eagle, and then Mike Lucas.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hi, Travis. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for telling me happy Thanksgiving on Tuesday.
You got it, Coach. Glad it was good. Curious on piggybacking on what everyone else was saying. Are you looking for a little bit more from your posts moving forward from here, and maybe a little bit more points in the paint? That's kind of similar to last year, but with a little bit of a different vibe with this team.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a little different vibe, but to be realistic, we're not going to be able to have the success that we would all like to have when Marfo has 2 turnovers and 2 defensive rebounds, and he's the returning leading Division I rebounder in the country, and Koo has 5 rebounds and 6 points. I thought Koo played better towards the end of the game than he did the first 30 minutes of the game. But are those 2 guys combined going to be able to give us 40 minutes at that spot? After today's game, I would say no. But we need them to get a lot closer than what they did today, because it's a little unrealistic relative to the competition going forward that we're going to be able to play small for long stretches. I like playing small because I think it sometimes can dictate the matchups that you want. And I think what we do defensively allows the ball to, if you're doing right, to keep it out of the paint. But we're going to need more from Aku and Marfo for sure.
Yeah, and then mentioning your defense, with the guys, the new guys that were able to step in. I know last year that everyone said that was kind of the hardest thing to get a grasp of initially. How do you feel like those new guys did in the system?
I was very encouraged. I think they've all done well. I was very encouraged by Hassan and H today. I think they're both very intelligent, and I think that they have a high feel for how to play. And the combination of the two has probably allowed them, Travis, to gain traction in what we're trying to accomplish defensively quicker than most freshmen. Jax is not behind. Papa is not behind. They're where they should be. But we're going to need those 4 freshmen combined to be able to help us. And I thought what Hassan and H did today, I thought was really good. And I think that that's an encouraging sign for what we're trying to accomplish defensively. So what we need is more consistency, Travis, on a daily basis of our returning guys being the example that we need them to be for our young guys to follow, and what we're trying to do defensively, because there is some complexity within what we do defensively. But before you get to the complex portions of it, you got to be able to execute, do everything you can to keep the ball as far away from the basket as possible. And I think Hassan and H did that today.
And then real quick, a status update on E-Man.
Yeah, I want to make sure that I handle this right, because I know a lot of coaches have gotten in binds over the last 3 months. It is not specific to COVID. There are no issues specific to COVID, but he has been having some muscular issues that we've been trying to solve. He could have played today, but I'm trying to make a long-term decision like I would for any kid. We missed him. We do miss him in practice. We obviously missed him in the game. He is making progress. When will he be available? I can't answer that yet, because we need to see how the next few days go.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, next up is Mike Lucas from KAGS, and then Andrew.
Hey, Coach, I know it's just the first game and you haven't had a chance to go back and look at the tape yet, but were you more pleased with the offensive effort or the defensive effort from your guys today?
Yeah, good question. What I would say that I was displeased with offensively, Mike, is we can't have 19 turnovers. Our turnover rate was too high. What I can say is of the field goal attempts that we took, only 3 are what we would define as bad shots. And it was 3 total, which is really encouraging. So offensively, we need to always attempt more shots than the opponent. We didn't do that today. A lot of it was because of the live ball turnovers, and also it was a push on the glass. Defensively, there were stretches where we kept the ball out of what we call the box. So the box is the NBA lane line, and then we play the paint on offense, which is obviously just the college lane. We want to keep it out of the box a little bit more than we did today. They're not what I would call a great shooting team. So their game is to get it to the box, which was a good rep for us. But we're going to need to do a better job going forward of keeping it out of the box. But I thought we did a good job when we did keep it out of the box of forcing turnovers / making them shoot shots that they probably typically wouldn't.
Thank you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Next up is Andrew Hattersley. He's from gig'em247.com, and then Chip. Andrew, are you there?
Yeah, you got to turn, Andrew. I'm not the technology. We can't hear you, pal. This is what normally happens when I'm on a Zoom. If somebody does this, that means unmute.
All right. In the meantime,
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Can you? Okay. Coach, seemed like you were able to get a lot of deflections. Was that a product of going small, or was there something else going on there, or was that a product of going small?
Yeah, a lot of coaches, I think it probably started when I was a kid with Coach Pitino. They talk a lot about deflections. I think it's become more and more one of the NBA categories that are charted. It doesn't matter what our personnel is, Andrew, on the floor. We want to be as high on the floor as possible while not getting beat to the paint. And so typically speaking, we call it triangles. If we're in our perfect triangles, we're going to be closer to the ball than we are our man. And that's what's going to lead to a high number of deflections. I think the other thing for us, so much of what we do is positional defense. It doesn't matter what the personnel is. It's all about the position. And I think we had 4 charges in the first half. I'm not sure how many we had in the second half. And charges are typically a reflection of your position. And I think deflections, coaches would tell you, is kind of the same. If you're in the right position, you're probably going to have opportunities for more deflections and charges.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go to Chip Howard from Sports Talk, and then we'll finish with Logan Lee.
Buzz, Coach Gillespie on several occasions has expressed his thankfulness for you being willing to schedule that game. I think you understand that his team will come in with their hair on fire Wednesday night. I'm wondering what you will say to your team about the importance for them of this game.
I'm kind of careful, Chip, in how I do that. And I'm not saying this is the right approach. There was a lot of history behind today's game. And I never brought it to your attention because I think when coaches talk like that, it makes the game about them. But you guys know that Jamie McNeely played at New Orleans. You guys know that Devin Johnson was a student assistant at New Orleans. Devin started his 10th year with us today. This was game number 1, and this is Jamie's 14th year with us. So there's a lot of history behind today's game. Mark Schlesinger is one of my closest friends in the business. And what I would say about Tarleton is this. I have never told Coach no. I've never told Coach no. I never told Coach no when I worked for him. I never told Coach no when I was building a relationship as a young assistant in the country, following his career and trying to learn from him. And I'm not going to say no to him now. They will play harder than any team in the country, just like every team that he's ever coached, whether that's at Ranger or UTEP or Texas Tech or Kentucky. That's who Coach is. They will play incredibly hard, and we will see a different team, not being disrespectful to Coach Slesh at UNO, but the fabric of how Coach leads and teaches is based on being competitive for every dribble and every pass. And so it will be more of a test than we've had in non-conference since we have been here.
Thanks.
All right, and we will finish up with Logan Lee from TexAgs.com.
Coach, good win today, by the way.
Thank
Your guys seem to have more confidence this year. Obviously, the returners understand you and your system and what you're asking of them. They even have more confidence post-game in the presser with their answers and
Good.
being
Thanks
able
for telling
to really speak to what you're looking for on the court. Where is their confidence level in comparison to they're actually understanding everything that you want from them and need from them this year?
Yeah. Who did post-game, Lo? I never asked.
Q and Dre.
That's good. This is what I would say, Lo, on that. They know what our expectation is, but their grade on a daily basis thus far has been a B- in regards to executing daily what they know we have to do. And what we need to do is try to get that B- to an A- so that the kids that haven't been here are able to gain some momentum and traction in figuring out what we're trying to accomplish quicker. Because we're going to need some of those new kids to have a distinct role. And it's not because the intent of their heart is wrong. It's because what we're asking them to do is hard. And you know this, and we all know this in what we do. Being your best every day, every possession, that is the discipline required to be great. And we, whether that's Dre, whether that's Q, Save, any of them, we need to be better at our discipline. And that's kind of what we've talked about the last 3 days. Can we be great at what we know we have to do? And then can we do it again and again? And I think that's where we're going to have more translation. They know they do it more often than they did last year, partly because they know, but now we need to get to the point and gain some consistency in we can do it every day. Dre has come a long way. Q has come a long way, but it's not those two, it's all of them. And them being better speakers, speaking more articulate, having better body language, all of that is just as translatable as what I'm talking about tactically. So I hope that what we're requiring of the people in our program, players or not, on a daily basis translates to their life. We just need more consistency, and that's the next step that we've got to take.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the questions we have for you, Coach. Thank you.
You guys very much. I appreciate it. Good to see you, Olin. You only show up on game day, Olin. I like it. Olin, we can't hear, man. Zoom. Good to see you guys. Freaking Mike and Lo are in their car. You guys have a good day.
All right, bye.
Got
Thanks,
it.
guys.